Hello everybody, my name is Will and welcome back to Flyout. Today we're taking another look at a bunch of community designs and stick around for this one because we're going to be doing the sensible ones first and the ridiculous ones last. We're starting with, today, the Hippo, which is something quite clearly inspired by American dive bombers in World War II. This is designed by Gambit in my Discord, and there is a lot of lore in the Flyout dev server, and so many controls. So we're going to see if we can even start this thing. It's got some kind of turboprop stuff going on in here, so this could be this could be a failure on my behalf to get this in the sky, but I'm hoping my intelligence is sufficient. Okay, my slight concern here is it appears that one of the controls to drop the the drop tanks is shift, which is throttle up for me. So this may have been designed with a flight stick in mind, but that's okay. We can probably still move. So there's loads and loads of controls. We're getting a little bit of lag here because there's so much going on, but there's all of the hatches in the known universe. I mean, yeah, that's why we're lagging in there. Goodness me. We got little hatches on top here, which lead to the guns. We've also got hatches that I believe that's just the exhaust system there. I don't know which controls those are. I've managed to nail it perfectly, so I guess I do know which controls those are. We've got perfectly modeled like landing gear bays. Basically, everything to just make my computer wish that it was a computer that it isn't. I think I've probably closed everything there, so we should be good to go. And then we can rotate this turret at the back as well and lower that landing hook. And there's even folding wings. There we go. So you can put this away in a hangar space. This is an insane level of detail. Yep. All right. Well, let's see if we can actually launch this thing, because we're going to need to turn on the starter motor. In theory, do we need to toggle those on? Possibly? I don't know. Oh, no. I feel like I've stalled it or something. Can we get it going? Oh, we can. Okay, we are moving. We are, in fact, moving. At this point in time... I must have just waited too long and stalled out the engines there, but oh my god, she's up in the air with absolutely no fuss whatsoever. I'm genuinely surprised by that. Normally propeller aircraft give me a little bit of grief on takeoff, and wow, my frame rate is really bad. I hope you all enjoy slideshows, because goodness me. Right, in that case, we're probably not going to be doing much with this, more than just showing it off. So we do have a bomb bay, which should be space. You can see we've also just fired our guns there, because there seem to be a lot of controls which are colliding in this thing. But we've also... we should have a... Did I already drop it? I must have dropped my torpedo. So there's meant to be a torpedo in there. There was a torpedo in there. Somewhere between the runway and here, there's a torpedo. So fingers crossed, no one finds that who really shouldn't do. I'm sure it's fine. And the agility of this thing is absolutely mental. We're pulling some serious G's here. If I pull a full maneuver, okay, that's not a great example. That's only pulling 2 G's, but that's because we're stalling. Right. You know what? I really want to know is what will happen if we fold the wings up mid-flight, just because, it's like morbid curiosity at this point. So, if I just tap that button... oh? You know what? I could not have written this prediction myself. Yeah, I mean, it still works surprisingly well, actually. That's quite the sight to behold, isn't it? Shall we... oh, hang on. I mean, the lag might be clearing up. It might not be. I was going to say, do we want to try and land this thing? Because, my frame rate, I don't think, can cope with a top speed run. It might just cook my CPU. Yeah, I have a very strong feeling based on the flight characteristics of this that this was designed with a flight stick in mind. A flight stick which I fully have one now. I could totally plug it in. However, that would require foresight on my behalf and clearing of my desk and moving of cables. Frankly, I don't have the energy for that. We'll just continue to fly things badly. It's alright. Good lord, those are some big flaps. And they've got the air brake like slots in them that you saw on American dive bombers as well. We'll drop out the gear here, and I imagine the stall speed on this thing is quite low, as it is carrier-based after all. Oh, fingers crossed I don't just crash it into the ground because of my bad piloting skills. Or, alternatively, the frame rate, which is still not fantastic, I can't lie, even if it has smoothened out a little bit. Come on, down you go. There we go, that's all the wheels on the ground. Do we have brakes? I think we do. It's jiggling a little bit, but I think that's because I'm in mouse control. And any moment now, we should stop. And we can move on to possibly not as detailed, but also hopefully slightly less laggy creations as the rest of this video goes on. Well, that is incredibly well designed. That is absolutely awesome. We can open that hatch up to let these guys out, and I really like this design. Unfortunately, my GPU doesn't seem to like it quite as much, so we're going to move on to the next design, but thank you so much for the submission. It is really cool. Okay, and here is the next design. This is the 52 Warfox, designed by PO Player in my Discord. This is some kind of crazy not an orthocopter. They flap their wings. Or is that an ornithopter? Oh, I don't know. It's a helicopter with two massive rotary blades. If you've ever watched James Cameron's Avatar, they've got loads of these things. I mean, not this one in particular, but, like, you know, things of this design. Let's just fly it before I embarrass myself anymore, shall we? Okay, here we are on the runway with this thing, and there are no custom inputs on this, which I saw. So, in theory, we should just have to throttle up, and we should go, right? That makes sense to me. I don't really know. Okay, I've just had a thought. I might be being very stupid. We're in a helicopter. Of course, we need to adjust the collective. I really should have thought about that before now, but you know what? That's fine. I've only embarrassed myself once so far while flying this thing, which is a pretty good record as far as mine go in flyouts. However, we are up into the air. We have got a bunch of miniguns. We got 2 on the front, 2 for the door gunners on the sides. We have rocket pods, which we can fire off. And I believe that's all. Do we have countermeasures? I don't think we do. I think countermeasures is R. Not entirely sure, though. I am seriously struggling to control this here, because there seem to be inverted roll controls. A and D seem to go the wrong way. They are the roll, I believe, and your is Q and E as opposed to most craft, which it's the other way round. That's odd. Something just went that way. I don't really know what that was. I'm hoping that wasn't important to this helicopter. It is incredibly difficult to control this. I am assuming, once again, that this is a flight stick kind of thing that I'm missing. However, I can't be entirely sure, to be entirely honest. What if, whoa, we use mouse flight? That, you know, I'm getting the impression that's not the solution here. Come on, please, don't crash. Yeah, right, good, there we go, we're moving again. What, how much lift does this give? Goodness me, what is going on? Am I throwing blades? I don't know. That's 100% collective that I've just turned on. I was wondering what would happen. It's not good. Whatever's happening, we're falling. Oh dear. Yeah, I think we're throwing blades. Hang on, let me turn off the engines. I think we've lost some just because they're spinning so hard and then they're just flinging off in whatever direction. I'm wondering if this is, have I done something with my settings which is breaking this? or is this one of those designs which is made to look good more than function good? Not entirely sure. It does look good, though. You've got to give it that. Even if it's throwing its blades, even if it's incredibly hard to control, it is really pretty. What is it? Look, they're just flinging off like crazy. I'm not going crazy, am I? That is just the blades flying clean off. That's not meant to happen, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Oh my god. Let's see if we can land this thing with a few blades missing. Oh, that's tough. That's a rough landing. Yeah, no, okay, it's happened again. It's hard to control once the blades start coming off, I can't lie. So we'll move on to our next design. Thank you so much for that submission, PO Player. That was a really, really cool helicopter, even if I don't know what I did wrong. But I've done something wrong somewhere. And it started throwing its helicopter blades all over the place. Luckily, there's no one other than Jimmy in the entirety of the Flyout universe, so no one else could have been hit by a Mach 7 helicopter blade. Next up, we have a design by Discord user Fart. That is their username. I don't know why you'd make that your username, but somebody has. Fart here has created an F-104X for us, which is a modernized version of the F-104 Starfighter, which you might know from history. And I'm going to assume that they've made, some attempt to make it stealthy. That's not a spectacular stealth rating, I think. I think it's meant to be low, and that's quite... No, I mean, it's meant to be high, and it's quite low. So it seems not to be actually stealthy in-game, but we can let it off. It's an F-104. They weren't made to be stealthy. So fingers crossed, we can shoot something down, because this thing has missiles for days. Okay, so last time we had an F-104 on this show, we had a bit of a problem where the runway wasn't quite long enough for it. So we'll see if modern technology can aid in that. And just before we go, look, the canopy opens. Probably shouldn't be doing that while going 130 kilometers an hour, but it's fine. People went faster than that with Formula 1 cars, and they don't have cockpits, so there you go. I mean, they do have cockpits, but, you know, shush. We're going to take off. And yeah, no problems there with runway length. I'm imagining this is going to go incredibly fast. But yeah, okay, cool. Let's put those flaps away, and we'll build up a little bit of speed. We'll see what kind of speed we can get at sea level with a full loadout. I'm hoping we'll be going Mach 1 point something. That'd be nice. This doesn't look like an afterburner exhaust. This looks just like a liquid-fueled rocket. And given that we're currently going Mach 1.3 at sea level, and we still have like 7.5 minutes of fuel in this thing, it might well just be a liquid rocket booster. Okay, we're roughly leveling out at 1.5 Mach. So it's not insane speeds like, you know, Mach 3, but... given that we only have one engine, and we've got quite a lot of fuel for that engine, that's pretty good, I've got to admit. And you know, we've still got weapons on it and everything. And in theory, we have 6 missiles on this thing. So we got the 4 on the pylons, which we're going to use to take out this target drone. And then we can drop those pylons, and we have 2 more hidden away inside this thing, which, can you see where they go? I can't see where they go. I actually don't know. I mean, I tell a lie. I do know. I watched the video they attached with this. But, okay, we're coming up on the 6 of the target drone here. We're going to wait for 2K, and then we'll launch. It should have enough velocity to make contact, because we got, like, an extra Mach to apply to it. And, yeah, that worked quite well. We can then hit O. That's the drop tanks. My bad. Then we can hit I, and then we jettison those weapons. What was that? That looked like a missile that just flew past me. I hope not, because I don't believe they've added enemy aircraft to shoot at me yet, and I've not spawned any SAM sites in. Sure, whatever. Let's spawn in another target drone, and then we can have a look at this internal weapons bay, which I believe is 5, and then boom, they stick out the sides like that. That is That's just a hole in the plane there. For some reason I was expecting a backing plate, but, you know, it is an F-104, so scuffed is its middle name, I think. And in theory, when we fire this, it should work. But it is still saying I have 5 missiles, so there's every possibility it's going to try and fire those missiles we just jettisoned. Okay, we're going to try at this range. There we go. There goes one. That looks, honestly, not too bad. That might hit. Yeah, okay, cool. And we may as well just loose the other one at its corpse. Sorry, buddy. Brutality is the way forward, I've decided. And we got some countermeasures, which... Ooh, it's a nice little, like a flux capacitor shape. Or a triangle. You know, other options are available. Now that we've got a bit of altitude on us, we've easily smashed through Mach 2. And I'm imagining if we were to put this thing into a climb, we would seriously rock it up. I mean, the thing is shaped like a rocket, so it would make sense. Why is the smoke so yellow? What? How have they done this? Everything about this engine is confusing to me. Oh yeah, we also have an internal cannon. I didn't show that off. It's I don't actually know. I believe it's 20mm at a guess, but yep, I mean, it's an internal cannon, that's for sure. We are still climbing at more than Mach 1.6 at 20,000 meters. And if we try and level off, maybe we'll just be a little more gentle about it than that. I don't know if we're still going to accelerate at this altitude, but that would be fun. And we're not accelerating, so we're beyond its realistic service ceiling, but oh no, it's accelerating now. I reckon, you know, lose an extra 5,000, you could probably pull off like 17,000 meters, so that's pretty high. I'll give you that. And now we got to try and make our way back to the runway, all the way over there, from basically the edge of space where we find ourselves right now. I mean, look up, and we are just in space. That is, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a successor to the F-104. It doesn't look like we've got any air brakes on this thing, so this could be interesting getting slow enough to land this. They reckon it should land naturally at 280 kilometers an hour. So that's what we're aiming for. And we've just dove from 22,000 meters in the sky, so we've got a little bit of energy to bleed off. We're just casually pulling 11G here. Yeah, maybe that's how we're going to bleed off the speed. Jesus, that's got some authority on it. Right, okay. Suddenly we might need to use some throttle to get back to the runway. Okay, got the gear extended. We're leading for landing here. I believe popping the flaps should bleed off that last little bit of speed. And apparently... I can just kind of leave it be, get down to a low altitude, and have it just kind of touch down. I feel that's flaring quite a lot there. That's about the speed that we should be at. Oh, no, I'm going to need to do something about that. Almost. It very almost landed itself. The ground effect took it, I think, but we nearly had it. I appreciate when people make it very, very easy to land their aircraft. As people know, I have a bit of a tendency to remove the entire craft apart from Jimmy when I land these things. That happened earlier with the helicopter thing. But there we go. We have touched down. We can open up our canopy and get out of here. Thank you very much for this design. I'm going to have to say it again, fart. What a username, honestly. Goodness me. We're moving on. Okay, up next we have another Ace Combat design. This time it is the ADFX02 Morgan. Very, very succinctly named there. This was designed by Fairchild972, who's featured on this show a couple of times before. This is apparently a final boss of a game, and it's a prototype to the Falcon, which we have previously flown, which makes sense. It does look a little bit familiar. So, yeah, there's a lot of instructions with this thing, so we're going to do our best to play this. Yeah, this could go interestingly. Okie dokie. So, this thing has a big old laser on top. It has some custom AGM missile things. which apparently drain the fuel very quickly. So we might use that, we might not, I don't know. We got some cool custom landing gear shenanigans going on. We're going to do our best to fly. This could definitely go interestingly. Right, apparently we want to reach 500 odd kilometers an hour before we take off. Also, the wind seems to be taking this thing quite a lot, so we're just going to chill, wait for it, and now we try and take off. Very nice, there we go. The instructions are correct. This laser pod on top, I don't believe does anything other than look cool. We have these MPBM. Yep, there we go. I got it. Missiles. Very nice. Apparently, yeah, they have like their own custom thrusters which take from the aircraft's fuel tank, which is interesting. And other than that, a couple machine guns, a couple of IR missiles. We can definitely go shoot some stuff down. We are already breaking the sound barrier here near sea level, and I'm imagining it'll keep going for a little while. That said, it looks like it's not going to keep going for a little while. Okay, let's spawn in. I've spawned in a SAM. That's really quite unfortunate. We can still go after this this target drone over here. We just gotta keep an eye out for incoming missiles, because that's probably spawned on the planes, and therefore will have an incredibly good shot at me. We'll fire off an IR missile. That looks like it should be a kill. I don't see why it wouldn't be. There we go. All good. We got him. And we may as well take down another. We got 2 missiles. Why not? I didn't say anything during it, so it's not very interesting to watch, but I'll do it again in a second. But the turn time on this thing is frankly ludicrous, given how much stuff there is strapped onto the end of this fighter. If I just get up to a little bit of speed, like Mach 1 here, and I just hold S here, that is 21G of pull. That's just going to turn anyone inside this thing immediately into slurry. And that's a missile. Whoa. Okay. I didn't keep an eye out for missiles like I said I would. But you know what? It's controlling surprisingly well, given that it's only got 1 wing right now and is actively on fire. I think this is how they describe the F-15 as working, right? Okay, I want to try these missiles, these like air-to-ground missiles. So we're going to drop off that pod. We've dropped off our IR missiles. This looks so cool with none of those missiles on here and none of that clutter. It's just so incredibly like clean looking, and obviously still performs absolutely incredibly. If we spawn in, let's go for a tank first, and then we might be able to do a little bit of a SAM run afterwards. We should be able to actually try these things out. I don't know when we'll get a lock, but as soon as we do, we'll pretty much go for it, because I imagine, since these use the aircraft fuel, so long as we have fuel, they have fuel. Swap to the AGM, hold 3 to throttle this thing up, give her a little bit of a turn around. I know we're over-G'ing, that's fine, we can do that. I'm sure it'll manage. I've flown these things before, they're very capable. There we go, and we're out of that insane stall that we put ourselves into, just like that. Fire it off, that's the wrong key, fire it off, and now we can swap to it. There we go. And just so long as that little nubbin in the thing doesn't look like we're shooting towards the ground, we should be okay. This is certainly going to hit. It's going like Mach 3. The tank is doomed. Yep, nailed it, of course. It couldn't possibly miss. That was... They are seriously quick, though. I'm very impressed by that. And, yeah, there's nothing left to do other than... Well, look at these countermeasures. Very nice. And, yeah, take her home. Why not? So we do have an air brake on this one. It is at the back. I believe I remember this from the Falcon itself. Oh, my God. I don't believe that's meant to happen when you don't have the engines on. Yeah, that's a little bit more control. Honestly, not a lot more controllable. Let's just try and not use the air brake, or alternatively just crash into the ground and die. We'll have another go. Okay, this takeoff hasn't gone spectacularly, I can't lie, and no, I will not explain how it got to this point. Alright, here we go. We are leading for landing. We're going to avoid the air brake like the plague, and we've dropped all of our ordnance to make this as easy as possible for us, to give us the best chance of not splatting this thing into a mountain like we did before. And in theory, this should be quite smooth because it's got a lot of control, and therefore we got a lot of authority. There we go. Down we are, up to the end of the runway, and there's plenty of brakes going on in this thing. We can hit K, open up the canopy, call it a day. That is really cool. Thank you, Fairchild972, for this submission. This is awesome. Loving it. I do actually own Ace Combat now. I still haven't played it. I can't lie. I got it on sale. It was like massively off for like all of the DLCs in the game. It was like 10 quid or something. So I picked it up, and I have yet to play it. So maybe at some point we'll see. Next up, I don't know if it's going to work, but we have Bob. There he is. It's Bob. It's designed by the Flying Kiwi. So, that is, I mean, that's their username. I just read it how it is. It's Bob. That's, yeah, we'll see if it flies. I've made a custom fuel. I don't know if it's going to work. Hopefully it does. This is not the Bob sample. That's a new bug. What? Okay. Okay. Every single time I try and load the Bob sample, we simply spawn in. I mean, it could be the Bob sample. You don't know. It seems to work entirely how it is, and it still looks quite cool even in Bob sample mode. So congratulations, Fairchild. You've built a Bob sample, and you didn't even know it. Uh-oh. We're here again. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll call it there. If you've enjoyed this slightly unusual episode of Flyout Community Creations, please leave a like, comment, and or subscribe to the channel. Do feel free to submit more designs in my Discord. I know it's been a long time since I did one of these, so I have missed a couple of designs, but I don't think this series is over by any stretch of the imagination, so you can feel free to submit some more stuff. I am always willing to see what crazy things you have come up with, such as a Bob sample that's actually not a Bob sample. Yeah, that's all for now. Bye-bye! And as always, a huge thank you to my YouTube super supporters: Cody Fox, Cruiser25, Peter Holmes, Peter Seifert, ChemJam135, Marlon Gweck, and Stug3, Terra, and all of the regular supporters as well. Thank you so much.